What's going on, Guardians? Your boy Sly here, and welcome to my review of the Live from Gamescom Twitch stream. This is basically one video out of two. I'll be breaking down the vidoc in another video, so keep a lookout for that, as there was way more to talk about in that video than in the Twitch reveal. But if you're a Destiny fan, and if you're watching me, then you most definitely are, how can you not be excited at what's going on, right? I mean, some of these new weapons and armor coming with Rise of Iron look to be the best pieces we've yet seen from Destiny, and I bet we have only just scratched the surface. In any case, if you're out of the Rise of Iron loop, there are a couple of things you should be checking out. First, this right here, the most hype-tastic 9-minute vidoc you will get to see. It doesn't flat out talk about everything, but a watchful eye can pick up on so many things, so many hints at what's to come, along with a little learning more about the game that we love, so definitely watch that. The second piece is the full reveal stream from August 16th, entitled Live from Gamescom. It's a Twitch reveal that highlights the new Crucible mode and maps coming with Rise of Iron. You can get that right here, as well as the most significant change to the Crucible to date, and that is private matches. It's all in there, the full stream. Now, unfortunately, it's not the absolute best recording I've ever done. At times, the sync's a little off, but for the most part, it's pretty good and definitely worth a watch. If it gets too annoying, the full stream might be up on Bungie's Twitch channel by now. I'm not sure, I haven't checked out to see if it finally finished uploading. So if it's really bad and it's annoying you, go to twitch.tv, check out Bungie's channel. Maybe that option will be open for you. The third piece is again from the guys at Game Informer. The Destiny Hub has 2 new articles up about the new Crucible mode, as well as hands-on video showing it off. The hidden gem through it isn't the plain Crucible video, but the weapon he was using. The link is in the box below if you want to see those, and I highly recommend it. First, we get a glimpse of a new type of sidearm. It looks to me like it's going to be a new Iron Banner sidearm, but it shoots a 3-round burst and it looks absolutely deadly. 3 trigger pull kills without even hitting that many crits. The next and my most favorite is the long viewing of the Kovastov in action. It was also just absolutely shredding people, guys. I mean, I cannot wait to get my hands on this beast. Watch it and you'll see what I'm talking about. He starts off with a Soul Stealer type setup, high rate of fire, and the stability looks to be on point. After some gameplay, he ends up switching it to a slower Suros regime style type fire, but while it wasn't as deadly, it still did work, especially when landing those crits. So that's the best thing to take away there. Definitely worth a look at all of that. There's also another article published to the Destiny Hub where they talk about private matches in general, and they have a huge list of self-made questions that they answer themselves. It's all about what you can and cannot do in private matches. So if you're excited about private matches and a total PvP buff, it'll be a good read. Okay, so with that out of the way, welcome back to another reveal roundup, guys. A pleasure to have you with me as always. Let's jump in and see what went on yesterday. Like I said, the biggest teasers came out of the vidoc, which by the way you can also find in the description box below if you didn't have annotations turned on earlier. It's also playing in the background. Now I'm sure you're here to get the gist of whatever went on in the reveal stream, but under 10 minutes, so let's try to shoot for that. So the first thing that they got out of the way was private matches. Out the gate, you can tell that the Crucible lead, Lars Bakken, was immensely excited to announce that, and unfortunately the vidoc kind of stole his thunder. They mentioned it in the vidoc first, and that played at the beginning, kind of like, an intro to the stream, I guess you could say. It would have been nice to let Lars Bakken announce it himself, since, the Crucible is his baby. He pretty much made it. Not to mention, he's the man that made private matches a priority. But anyways, you could tell on his face when the camera showed him that he was super stoked to unleash this to the community. The good thing is that no matter where you are in Destiny, if you're still stuck in the vanilla game, or if you're catching up in the dark below as we speak, doesn't matter what part of the game you own or where you're currently at, private matches will be open to everyone. Now unfortunately, someone who's up to date right now can't just haul in a bunch of vanilla Destiny players and then go check out all the new maps or game modes. But whatever you're playing right now is what you can play on September 20th in private matches. So to start us out, they look over the UI and the different options at first. Now on one of the articles that's been published, they talked about the options and also their limitations for the first go at private matches. During launch, you won't have a ton of options to choose from. However, by the time Rise of Iron releases, there will be over 30 maps to play on. Some of them you're probably sick of, and others you might not even have the Grimoire for, so it'll be nice to fly in to which one you want and go check it out. The main options include turning off and on vehicles, time limits, score limits, time of day, which you can choose between morning, noon, or night, game types, and of course teams. There can only be 12 Guardians max, and you don't even need to make the teams even. You could have like a 2-on-5, 1v6, maybe even settle some grudges, 1v1 me, bruh! Any other combination like that, so there's a lot of options to choose from. You can even go in solo and do absolutely nothing, which is extremely helpful for getting used to new maps before like a competition or even if you're making machinima. The only problem is what you see is what you get. You can't change ammo properties, you can't mess around with weapons, or even dig around in match settings besides what you can see right here. So if you want to, get hand cannons only or sidearms only, it's going to have to be a spoken rule rather than something placed into the settings, which I guess, isn't that big of a deal. But the fact that tournaments can now be held and specific individuals or teams can now meet up with opponents in a controlled way, guys, this is going to open up Destiny to the competitive scene like never before, and that's a great thing for the game and the community in general. Destiny right now is a polished shooter with the best balance the game has ever had. Now, of course, it still needs work in some areas, but no matter what weapon you pick up, you can still get a decent kill count, and that is a big change from the Crucible a year ago. At the time, right now, the Crucible, dare I say it, is a pretty stable place. The only thing holding it back is matchmaking, and I think everyone knows that. So after the private match menu tour, they launched into the new game mode called Supremacy. As I'm sure you all know by now, it's a Destiny-themed version of Kill Confirmed. You pick up class crests that the enemy dropped to score points. You pick up your own fallen teammate's crest to deny the other team points. Nothing major, but it is a nice change of pace. So much so that the first Iron Banner of Rise of Iron will be the new game mode Supremacy, so that'll be something interesting to try out. So, moving along in the video, it showed that most of the upcoming maps are tiny, guys. I mean, like, small. The first match, we had a kill literally seconds after the start of the game. The player started, jumped over a gap, turned a corner, and boom, both teams were head-to-head. Now, we only seen a glimpse of 2 out of the 4 maps, and one of those being a PS exclusives. We have Last Exit, Floating Gardens, Skyline, and then Icarus. Icarus being the PS4 exclusive. Also, while we're on the topic of PlayStation exclusives, Deez dropped a knowledge bomb on the PlayStation website yesterday about some of the new exclusives coming to the PlayStation with Rise of Iron. There are a lot of fears that this setup right here will be the PlayStation exclusive Iron Banner gear for Year 3, and while I personally don't think that this particular set will be the case, it still sucks to see games continually doing these super long exclusives. While the armor remains to be seen, a quest line called Show of Strength will drop for PS4 Guardians only, and while it doesn't look to be insanely epic, the reward is a PlayStation colored ship, and these types are my favorite design by far. It's called the Timeless Tereshkova. Looks pretty neat, but I'm willing to bet that Siva will have some awesome ships of their own. And if I'm gonna go Year 3, let's do something completely different, right? So besides more gameplay, that was basically it, guys. They didn't answer any questions from the community or talk about Crucible weapons or armor, which I was hoping that they might do. Or perhaps even some Gear 3 tweaks to matchmaking or weapons. Like I said, didn't speak anything about that yet. There is still tons of time left to release a bunch of angry information, so sit back. I'm sure it'll pop up eventually. But yeah, that's it, guys. There really wasn't all that much information, just more like a PvP exhibition showing off the new mode. We did see some new guns, but nothing that really stands out as, completely new or special. New weapons, technically, but you know that most of these vendor weapons are just variation of something that we've already used, so no big deal there. Alright, well, the only thing to do is go check it out for yourselves, guys, if you have the time. Honestly, I would just watch the Vidoc, which again, boom, is right here. You can walk away with more stuff from those 8 minutes than you do from the entire reveal stream. But by the way, I'm working on a Vidoc rundown right now because there is a ton of new and interesting stuff to take a look at, as well as some theories on one of the raid bosses. So watch out for that as I put the finishing touches on that video, and unfortunately, still don't have a capture card, so it'll be a little more generic background filler until I get that crap sorted out. Elgato, if you're hearing me, bro, express shipping all the way. Alright, Guardians, as always, the pleasure has been mine, and I could not do this without you all behind me. Thanks again for sticking with the smaller YouTuber, and if you want to stay up to date on everything Destiny, Rise of Iron, The Division, and games in general, follow me on Twitter or Facebook at SlyNation. It is the best place to stay in touch and be alerted to new uploads coming out from the channel. Oh yeah, guys, one last thing before I go. If you're a PS3 or an Xbox 360 player and you plan on upgrading to the current generation, Destiny the Collection is a new bundle package shipping out the same time as Rise of Iron. If you're on a legacy console, don't pre-order Rise of Iron by itself, pre-order the collection. You still get the Gallowing, you'll still get the Blackened Gallowhorn, but the cool thing is that legacy players will get an insane discount on it. I think that they would say it would end up costing you guys like 30 or 40 bucks for the entire thing. I think it was 30 though, honestly. I'll double check, but that's for everything. I mean, that's Vanilla Destiny, Dark Below, House of Wolves, Taken King, and Rise of Iron. Everything, all maps, all for that price, guys. And you're going to need the original game to use Rise of Iron. So it's a no-brainer. If you're making the switch, it is a great time to do it. Check out Bungie.net and look for the news section. They have an entire article where you can find out everything about it. Alright guys, well that's it for me. Keep an eye out for more vids coming out here super soon. And until next time, guards, this is your boy Sly. Done, gone, out.